Qabbalah made simple. How can you make Qabbalah simple? Because there is only one. No, there's zero. There's only zero. Hi everyone, Joe Monteleone here, tarot expert, mystical misfit, coming out of a wormhole near you to jailbreak reality as much as I can. And in this video, we're going to jailbreak reality with Qabbalah. Now this is a Qabbalah made simple. Please note that Qabbalah is a long-running mystical tradition coming out of Judaism, and it is a beautiful system, and everything that I tell you in this video is coming and bypassing through the weirdly encrypted reality tunnel that is Joe Monteleone. So this is the Qabbalah according to Joe. I want you to think of the coolest thing you've ever did, the coolest thing you've ever manifested. Do you got it? Okay, good. Now I want you to go back in time to the moment when you decided to do it. Got that? Okay, cool. Now I want you to go back in time to the feeling or the emotion or the thing that spurred that action or that choice to do that really cool thing. Well, this is kind of an example of Qabbalah in this plane on this level. By the way, everything has to do with scale. So if I'm talking about something on this scale, it's not necessarily the cosmic scale, but you know, everything's fractal, you know, so the patterns down here, the patterns up here. This comes from the hermetic axiom, as above, so below. We've seen that before, remember? Good old Baphomet. You know Baphomet was a synthetic deity. He was actually invented by the Catholic Church. Anyway, so in Qabbalah, what we're studying is consciousness. We're studying ourselves, and we're asking that big question, what are we? What do we come from? What is the nature of the universe? What is God? Who is God? Who is she? Well, Qabbalah is really cool because, unlike other mysticism, it's very brainy. It's actually very, very brainy. So it's actually very in line with kind of the culture of the West, and at least where I am in space-time, where everything is about lists and categories and separation and da-da-da-da-da-da. So whereas the Qabbalah will create all these complex systems of reality and all these ideas that connect to other ideas, mysticism of the East is more in the negative. It's more about destroying different parts of yourself. At the same time, that's not quite true because there's a lot of mysticism in the East, from my very superficial understanding, that does have a lot of categories that's just as deep as the Qabbalah, and it's actually very similar. So where does this awesome tradition come from? Well, let's see. When I was your age, the biggest thing was Alexandria. That's where all the cool kids went. And we would exchange ideas and mysticism and philosophy and banter. It was so cute. It was like the hottest place to be. And there was a lot of ideas of Plato floating around, and then Neoplatonism, which is Plato plus mysticism, and then ideas of hermeticism, which Hermes Trismegistus dropped down and gave us a couple words, and then we had Kabbalah mixing in with all of that. Well, in the Renaissance, they kind of fetishized that era, as we do now. You'll notice in history that we always fetishize the past, and that past usually fetishizes another past, and it just keeps going back and back until you get aliens or something, I don't know. But anyway, in the Renaissance, things started to combine again, and we added alchemy to the mix, we added Christianity to the mix, and we added tarot. Now, was tarot invented by the same people that created the Kabbalah? Well, no, because the Kabbalah was apparently given to Adam from God or the angels or something. And did he give him tarot too? Maybe. Are they the same thing? It doesn't really matter. What matters is that the tarot and the Kabbalah fit so beautifully together, and if you are using a Rider-Waite-Smith-inspired based deck or a Thoth-based deck, you're using Kabbalah. So, what do we have in the Kabbalah? Well, we have this idea of emanation theory. So emanation theory was a big thing with Plato. He was kind of saying things like, everything exists in an ideal form and is then degraded into a manifest form. And everything has one ideal version of itself in the world of forms. We love the world of forms. We love to see it. So, similar idea in Kabbalah and other things. We have this idea that there's an ideal and there's an actual. And then the actual, this world, is a reflection and a manifestation that has been a process going downwards from the above, which is eventually leads to God. So in the Kabbalah, we have 4 worlds. We have Atziluth, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asaya. And those 4 worlds are 4 planes. An Atziluth is the archetypal world, in Bria is the creative world, Yetzirah is the formative world, and Asaya, right here, is the material world. They are also connected to the 4 elements and the 4 letters of the God name Yod-He-Vav-He. Yeah, what? That way? This way? Which way? Yahweh? It's a pretty big name. You don't know? God has many names. It's interesting that the nameless has so many names. Why does the nameless have so many names? Well, it's because when people have mystical experiences of God and oneness, there's no words to describe it. So obviously they use as many words as they possibly can. So in Kabbalah we have the 4 worlds, and those 4 worlds are also reflected in the 4 parts of the soul: the Kia, the Neshama, the Ruach, and the Nefesh. Now there are more parts of the soul. Those are the 4 that I work with the most. We can add a goof in there, we can add Yakida in there, we could add some other things, but that's kind of the basic thing. So we got 4 parts of the soul, which kind of equate to, in some ways, on the larger scale, the 4 worlds. And we love a number 4 in tarot, right? 4 elements, 4 seasons, 4 directions, 4, 4, 4. We love 4. By the way, every number is special. I know we always want to pick out those some numbers which are like extra mystical. Trust me, they are all mystical. This is a mathematical universe. We love numbers. They are all equal and all fun. When we look at the 4 parts of the soul and the 4 worlds, we can connect that to the small cards in the tarot. What happens then, you ask? Well, there's 10 numbered cards in the tarot, in the suited cards, and those 10 numbered cards connect to the 10 sephirot of the Tree of Life. If you followed any of my work, you know I am a complete sucker for that Tree of Life. Oof, it taught me so much, and it is my favorite way to map out consciousness and projects and all different things. The Tree of Life has 10 spheres, which are 10 emanations of God, kind of like a fountain, so it starts at the top and it fills up each sphere until we get to the bottom, which is Malkuth, right here, right now, in this infinite moment. And only this moment exists. Hey, not that one, this one. No, 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 not that one, this one. This is the infinite moment that is Malkuth. Malkuth is the end of the whole system, and it's all happening right now. Isn't that great? So what else we got? We got 10 spheres, we got 4 elements. Oh yeah, we got 4 letters of the name of God. Those 4 letters of the name of God, Yod, He, Vav, He, are the 4 court cards, which are further divided into the 4 elements. We love division, we love multiplication, we love fractalization, because this is a fractal universe in some philosophies. What about the major arcana cards? I'm so glad you asked. The major arcana cards are connected to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, I know it wasn't 22 letters in the past. Okay, I get it. Maybe it's a recent update. But for right now, there are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, and there are 22 major arcana cards, and they fit smashingly. They also connect to the 22 paths that go between all the sephirot on the Tree of Life. So, what do we have? We have a whole beautiful system of 78 cards that beautifully describe an ancient mystical tradition that can get so beautifully weird. So, what are the benefits of studying Kabbalah? Well, I would say what are the benefits in studying anything? For me, I kind of want to figure out what I'm doing here in this reality, in this plane, especially after a mystical experience or two. But for practical reading, what can the Kabbalah do for you? Well, I find that the Kabbalah roots us in the underlying ingredients of what the tarot deck is. I know not a lot of intro books talk about the Kabbalah, but I think it's a really essential thing because it takes tarot and it brings it into the universal scale. And the tarot is universal. It's consciousness. It's the human experience. And what better way to describe that than a mystical system that uses numbers and ideas? Because if you're like me and you live in the West, you know, everything is about numbers, ideas, and meaning. It's all about the numbers. So, where can you study Kabbalah? A lot of places. I love the Book of Thoth. I think it's an amazing work by Aleister Crowley, regardless of what you think of Holy Crowley. I also teach classes on this stuff, live online classes. If you're interested, hit me up. If this video is helpful, please like, subscribe, get into the vibe, share with your friends, stay alive, and I look so forward to geeking out more with you about tarot and Kabbalah in another wormhole. Much love.